Good morning, students. I hope you are all safe and sound at home. During the holidays, you must have enjoyed the stories and you must have done the work given to you. And the last class, I gave you one more story to read. Now, today, I am going to explain the same. You must have heard about Hedy in your earlier classes or read the stories about Hedy. Hedy was a very active and smart girl, and she was an orphan. Now, let's start the chapter. At Grandfather's Cabin. Hedy by Joanna Spyri is a book about a young orphan girl called Hedy. There is a book named Hedy. It was written by Joanna Spyri, and in this book you will read so many stories relating to Hedy. Now, she was an orphan girl. Orphan means whose parents have died. She is taken by her maternal aunt Tate to live with her grumpy grandfather. After her parents' death, she was taken by her maternal aunt. Maternal means the family related to mother. Anybody who is related to that family, like your mamu, mami, these people are related to your mother, so they are called maternal aunt and maternal uncle. So she was taken by her maternal aunt Date to live with her grumpy grandfather. Grumpy means angry grandfather. He stays in a small cabin in the Swiss Alps. Hedy is not very welcome there at first, as the old man is used to living on his own. When she went there, she was not welcomed. Nobody paid attention to her. But Hedy was such type of a girl who used to win the heart of others. Now, however, Hedy wins over her grandfather's love with her caring nature, cheerful personality, and love for nature. What does Hedy do on the first day at the grandfather's cabin? Read these extracts to find out. After Date had disappeared, Hedy's grandfather sat down again on the bench, blowing big clouds of smoke out of his pipe. Now, her aunt, she disappeared, and she saw her grandfather blowing big clouds of smoke out of his pipe. Means he was smoking. He did not speak, but kept his quiet fastened on the ground. In the meantime, Hedy looked about her, and on discovering the goat shed, peeped in. Nothing could be seen inside, searching for some other interesting things. Now, Hedy was there, and she was not sitting at one place. She was searching around the hut. She saw the 3 old fir trees behind the hut. Here, the wind was roaring through the branches, and the treetops were swaying to and fro. To and fro, you know? To and fro means here and there. The treetops were swaying. Swaying means they were moving up and down. Hedy stood still to listen. After the wind had ceased somewhat, she walked round the hut back to her grandfather. She found him in exactly the same position, and planting herself in front of old man, with arms folded behind her back. She gazed at him. Now, when she came to this old man, she stood there with her arms folded behind her back, as you see in the picture, and she gazed at him. She was gazed means she was looking at his grandfather, thinking something else. On looking up, grandfather saw the child standing motionless before him. "What do you want to do now?" he asked her. Now, can you tell me what type of sentence it is? It is an interrogative sentence, as father is asking something. "I want to see what is in hut." Now she replied, She wanted to see something, whatever is there in the hut. Now what type of sentence it is? It is an assertive sentence. Come then. And with that, Hedi's grandfather got up and entered the cottage. Take your things along, he commanded. This is an imperative sentence starting with first form of the verb. I do not want them anymore, answered Hedi. Hedi said she did not want anything with her. The old man, turning about, threw a penetrating glance at her. Now, listening to this, the old man threw a penetrating glance. Penetrating glance means something uncomfortable if you feel, and something you want to know something about the other person. That type of glance he put on her. The child's black eyes were sparkling in expectation of all the things to come. She is not lacking in intelligence, he muttered to himself. Now the grandfather thought, and he muttered to himself, now the girl is not lacking the intelligence. It means she was an intelligent girl. Aloud he added, why don't you need them anymore? Why don't you need them anymore? I want to go about like the light-footed goats. She said, I want to go about like light-footed goats. Light-footed means freely. Having gait gracefully. She wanted to move only gracefully without taking anything else with her. All right, you can, but fetch the things and we will put them in the cupboard. The child obeyed the command. The old man now opened the door, and Hedi followed him into a fairly spacious room, which took in the entire expanse of the hut. In one corner stood a table and a chair, and in another, grandfather's bed. Across the room, a large kettle was suspended over the hearth. Now you see, this is the description of the room. In one corner there was a table and a chair, and in another one there was a grandfather's bed. And across the room, on the opposite side of the room, there was a large kettle that was suspended over the over the hearth. Hearth, you know, the floor at the bottom of a fireplace. You must have seen in movies the fireplace in the walls, and on the floor of the floor of the fireplace, the kettle was suspended over there. And opposite it, a large door was sunk into the wall. This Hedi's grandfather opened. It was the cupboard in which all his clothes were kept. On one shelf were a few shirts, socks, and towels. Can you tell me what was there in the room? Ask yourself. On other few plates, cups and glasses, and on the top shelf Hedi could see a round loaf of bread and cheese. In this cupboard, her grandfather kept everything that he needed for living. That was the small cupboard having all the things of grandfather. When he opened it, Hedi pushed her things as far behind her grandfather's clothes as she could reach. She did not want them found again in a hurry. After looking around attentively in the room, she asked, where am I going to sleep, grandfather? She asked where she is going to sleep. What type of sentence? This is again an interrogative sentence. Wherever you want to, he replied. That suited Hedi exactly. She peeped into all the corners of the rooms and looked at every little nook to find a cozy place to sleep. Nook, you know what is nook? a small quiet place or a corner that is hidden from the people. So she peeped in all the corners of the room and looked at a very little nook to find a cozy place to sleep. Beside the old man's bed, she saw a ladder. Climbing up, she arrived at a hay loft, which was filled with fresh and fragrant hay. Now she used the ladder and she climbed up and she found a hay loft over there. Hay loft, you know what is a hay loft? Hay loft is a on the farm you will see a small room that is used for hay. So she saw a hay loft which was filled with fresh and fragrant hay. Through a tiny round window, she could look far down into the valley, and there was also a window, and from there she can see outside into the valley. I want to sleep up here, Hedy called down. Now she said she wanted to sleep over there. Oh, it is lovely here. Please come up, grandfather, and see it for yourself. And she also offered her grandfather to come up. I know it, sounded from below. I am making the bed now, the little girl called out again, while she ran busily to and fro. Oh, do come up and bring a sheet. Now she insisted her grandfather to come up and bring a sheet. Now again we have an imperative sentence. Grandfather, for every bed must have a sheet. Now she said ki for every bed we need a sheet. Is that so? Said the old man. After a while he opened the cupboard and rummaged around in it. For taking the sheet, he opened his cupboard and rummaged. Rummaged means to see carelessly to search something else. So for searching the sheet, he carelessly removed the things here and there. At last, he pulled out a long coarse cloth from under the shirts. It somewhat resembled a sheet. Now finally he found out the sheet, and with this he climbed up to the loft. Here a neat little bed was already prepared. On the top of hay was heaped up high so that the head of the occupant would lie exactly opposite the window. Now the heap of that hay was made in such a way that any occupant means who is occupying that place, can lie and see through the window. Hedy's grandfather was well pleased with the arrangement, and to see that bed and arrangement, Hedy's grandfather was very happy. To prevent the hard floor from being felt, he made the couch twice as thick. Then he and Hedy together put the heavy sheets on the couch, tucking the ends in the well. Now they both slept over there, and they put and tucked the ends of the sheet in well. In a proper way they put, and they both slept. I think you must have enjoyed this story, and in the next class we will be doing the exercise of this chapter, and you will be taking your notebook along with me and a pencil along with you. Okay, thank you for listening to me, beta.